All right. So I'm gonna again. You can use a foam roller or a ball, but I'm just gonna get that outer hip glute area and just nice and slow. I'm gonna roll that. If you have like so Dwayne and Carol, if you guys got like a lacrosse ball and a foam roller, I'm gonna go to the lats next. So I might have one person foam rolling, use a foam roller for the lats, and then just kind of alternate. I kind of like the ball in that glute area. So you guys could one person could be doing the lats, the other person could do the. But just find that tender spot, especially after just getting up in the morning. It likes to be tender. Nice blue skies out. I gotta say, this is probably my favorite part of the day. The computer just said internet connection is unavailable, so hopefully we don't lose you guys. But I'll get about 20 to 30 seconds, and then I'm just gonna switch and do the same thing on the other side. Nice, slow, just almost like I was thinking instead of being like nice and fast, we want to just kind of massage nice and slow, like a slow rolling over. Sometimes you can just kind of, if you find a real tender spot, just hold it. Take some deep breaths. And then from there, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, after I get both sides, I'm going to sort of hit that upper body, the lats. For me, the lats just, I want to, and I'm just going to sort of get into the side position, and I'm just going to sort of pivot through and back. And just, you can kind of play around where that foam roller or the ball is. So if I had, I'll go down a little bit. Just search for that spot. So right there, I feel something. I'm just going to hold. I might try to do some rotations with my arm as I find that tender spot. Just take some good deep breaths. Try to relax in that. I think this is just a good opportunity to just, you're starting the day off just trying to get your body in that relaxed state. Like try to focus on just nice, slow, deep breaths. Breathing really important for getting us to move better, be less stressed. And once I get that, what I'm going to do is we'll kind of just go to our 90-90 position, and we're going to just do our stretch where I sort of lean into it. And we'll get like 20 seconds. So we're trying to just get that front hip. And what I'm thinking about is as I do this, I'm trying to take a deep breath, lean a little farther out, sink into it with each one. You can kind of shift your body, play around, turn. From there, I'm just going to get up nice and tall, and we're going to try to work that back hip. I'm thinking about driving that knee, that back knee into the ground. I want to create a little tension, get that outer back hip. Good long exhales. I'm going to try to record this. Once I get both sides, I'll switch. The same thing on the other side. I want to kind of get into that good 90-degree position, both legs, and then just sink into it. "20 seconds, just each breath, you're trying to get a little bit deeper into that stretch. Okay, I'm just going to get up nice and tall, look over that back. The next thing I was going to do is I was going to do some leg lowers. So we're going to go into our leg lowers. If you guys need, like I always try to say, if you guys can see me, so when I come up, I want to try to get close to that 90 degrees and keep those legs locked out. So I want to really lock those legs out, and I want to be that 90-degree position. So if I'm struggling and I'm kind of here, we could grab something. It could be a leash, it could be a towel, whatever you have available to kind of help. If you don't have anything, don't worry about it. Just find your range of motion. But what we're going to do is just get both legs up. I'm going to try to point those toes for the shins. I want to try to keep those legs locked out. So I'm getting tension here, and I'm going to lower down and then come back up. And I'm going to do 5 of those. Bringing that heel down to the ground, coming back up. Trying not to move this leg, and just the other leg is going. Shake it off a little bit, and then I'll do the other. Five each side. Nice and slow. Should actually feel core. But again, when we think about mobility, it's keeping that core nice and tight and be able to move our limbs and stuff like that in a good position. So after you guys get 5 per side, just like to loosen the ankles up. So I'm going to kind of come stay on my ground right here. And we're going to do the alphabet. So just with your big toe, you're going to make, and we're going to go through the alphabet and just, so I'm trying not to move my foot around too much, but I'm just trying to, within that position right here, I can use my hands so my legs don't get too tired. And I'm just going to try to, and you should feel like your ankle, your feet getting a little tired. That's good. Means we're using those muscles, using that joint to kind of move around. But I'll go all the way through the alphabet, and then I'll switch and I'll do the same thing here. And I'm thinking about, like, my big toe is sort of the, like the pen. Let's go all the way through. And then once you guys get both sides, we're going to start going into our upper body. So I'm going to do that, just start that side lying T-spine, just to open the upper back. Couple different ways you guys can do it. If you guys, I'm going to do this one where we just kind of open up here. You could always do that one where we go around all the way, whatever you feel comfortable with. But we're going to do 5. I'm going to do 5 like this right here, where I just come out. I want to keep these knees down, and I'm just going to open up. I like to take a good deep breath in that position. And as I do my 5, I'm just trying to get a little bit farther, and I'm really concentrating on trying to keep this from opening up. The more I keep these knees up to the left, my low back, I can't really rotate with my low back, which is what I want. I want to rotate with that upper back. So sometimes if I'm down here, it's easy to kind of turn. You get 5. Same thing on the other side. Again, depending on whatever, like, you just want to be thinking when you're in this position. Take a deep breath, relax, try to feel where we're trying to feel in that upper back. A lot of mobility is, I feel, neurological. It's in our brain. So our brain tells, if your brain's saying you're tight, it's not going to let your body move. The more it lets, more it can kind of be like, oh, well, maybe I feel okay. I'm relaxed. I'm not in that fight or flight response. It'll open up more. It's pretty amazing. It's really the reasons why we stretch and do the stuff that we do prior to strength training. After we get done with that, I'm gonna kind of keep the same position. This is a tender one. It's just a rotator cuff one. So just what I do is I kind of will keep that same position, and I want to keep my upper arm pressed in, and I'm just going to use this hand to sort of come down. You want to be easy with it because it is that tender, vulnerable spot right there. But as you're kind of coming down, you're keeping that, and you're just, as you push down, you find that tension that works for you. Usually you won't be able to go too far with it. And then once you get that stretch, I'm just going to kind of hold and just take some deep breaths. You can kind of play around with it. So if I go back a little farther, so if I was here, I'd be able to get a little bit lower. If I go back, I won't go as low. You should feel a little stretch in that rotator cuff area. And I'll switch and I'll do the same thing on the other side. Just gently going. You want to be very careful with that. I keep getting a pop-up on the computer that my internet connection is unstable, so we'll see. Make sure you feel it right in that. Pretty tender. I don't know if you guys saw that video that I posted of the, I don't know what it was. It was some I don't know, like kind of page that they show like how the muscles move, and it was showing how the rotator cuff like works and operates. It was really interesting. It was to see like the intricacy of it, and you know how just like tender, complicated it all is. It was really cool. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I want to do like some 90-90 switches, but we're going to add like a hip extension to it too. So when we're here in our 90-90, I'm going to try to stay up. All we're going to do is just roll up, and I want to try to get my hips forward. So I want to think about kind of getting nice and tall and locking those hips out, squeezing the butt, and then I'm going to sit back down, and then I'm going to do my switch. And then I'll sit back up, really drive the hips forward, try to squeeze that glute, and then sit down gently, and then nice slow switch. We'll get 5 of those. So as I come up, I'm almost getting a little bit of a hip flexor stretch right here. Morning, Abby girl. Yeah, you did. Okay. I'm gonna come say hi to everybody. Yeah, Grace, Dwayne, Carol, Heidi. All right, watch out. Go, boys, go. Get. All right, every girl. Huzzah. All right, go, get. All right, so then the next thing we're gonna do is just we'll stand up after you guys get your 5 switches, and we're gonna do rep, go. So we're gonna do our toe touch. So it's a little toe touch squat variation. So we're gonna reach down, touch your toes. So I'm getting a hamstring stretch right here. I'm gonna pull myself down, and then I'm gonna open up, and I'm gonna open up the other way. And then I'm going to stay there and just come back up, take a deep breath, hamstring stretch, and then come back down. And I'll get like 3 to 5 of those. When you're in this position, we're really trying to focus on getting that upper body nice and vertical, reaching behind the head. Come up. So 3 to 5 reps. I like to almost hold those positions a little bit longer. I like to do less reps and just breathe. Go slow with it. And then once you guys get those, we're going to just make it a little dynamic. I was going to do like an inchworm into a Spider-Man. So we'll always come back to this standing position. So I'm going to reach down, touch the toes. I'm going to keep my feet. So like before the toe touches, we were reaching down, our feet were close. Let's get our feet really clear. We're going to come down. Pay attention. Like if you can get your, ideally we want to be able to get our hands down to the ground. I'm going to walk it out. And then I'm going to step up, drive the hips forward. Same thing on the other side. So I'm not just stepping up, I'm sort of sinking into it right there. And then I'm going to keep those legs straight. I'm going to walk my hands back. And I want to kind of get my hands all the way back to that toe, take a deep breath, and then I'll stand back up. And again, we'll get like 3 to 5 of those. For the sake of the video, I'm going to do 3. But I'm almost trying to pay attention to what's going on. So as I come down, I want to try to get a little bit lower. I want to almost get my hands flat to the ground, take a deep breath. Each breath you take in that position is going to allow you to kind of relax a little bit more. Drive those hips forward. You should feel getting a little bit more range of motion. I'll get one more. You should feel like you're a little bit lower on this one. Nice slow walk it all the way out. Play around. You can, take as long as you want in those positions, and then we'll walk it back. All right. And then the last thing that I was going to just finish out with, I do really like these rolls, kind of like an egg roll where we're just rolling onto our upper back. So I always think like I'm starting from my hips, and as we roll, we're sort of getting that transfer of our body to sort of go all the way up our upper back. So in the neck area, so we're rolling up onto our back, hands are going up, or legs are going up. And then as we come back up, we'll get into that V stance. And I always think V stance, and I'm going to nice and tall and lean forward. And we'll just get like 8 to 10 of those. It's just a good kind of just loosens everything up. So nice and slow. I try to think about as I'm rolling back, everything's going right up that upper back. We're focusing on that smooth transition, so you don't want to be hitting the ground hard. Be nice and smooth. I do think of this as you guys are going. I'll just kind of talk. Like I do think this is really important. If you, from a standpoint of just like someone fell, I think sometimes when people fall and they get injured, it's because they don't know how to fall. It's like they fall and they hit hard. Like this is that ability to sort of fall, roll, and kind of control that. Again, I kind of like it when you get up on that upper back. It's like you feel a good stretch in the neck area and whatnot. So Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for joining me. You guys feel okay?
You're off mute now. Yeah.
Yep. Great. Thanks, Matt.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. See you guys later.
Those
Have a great
90
day.
lifts did a lot.
You like those? Yeah, I like those too.
No.
Cool. Awesome.
You feel
All
a
right,
lot
guys.
of stuff there. That's, no,
Yeah,
they
you
were
do.
good. Yeah.
Cool. All
Thank
right,
you.
guys. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.